Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a registered legal document assistant, LDA, based in Greater Los Angeles area. It's Pie Day. Oh, I remember when I used to be a teacher, there was Marie calendars near our school. They always had pies on special in the month of March, and on 3/14, we always literally had pies on Pie Day. Welcome to 3.14. What's the rest of this? 3.14159 day. Get a slice of pie, and let's talk about dividing your financial pie in a divorce. You cannot finalize your divorce. Well, that's not true. You can bifurcate your divorce and get divorced, but still have to come back and settle this financial stuff later. This part isn't fun. There is a pie, a financial pie, and it needs to be divided in a certain way. You could cut it down the middle, but that might not be the best thing for you. So let's get into it. You need to know the difference between community and separate property. Community property is supposed to be split 50-50, but not everything in your life is community property. Things that are separate property are things that were acquired or accrued before the date of marriage or after the date of separation. Also, anything given to you by gift or inheritance is considered separate property. Where couples fall into trouble is when they commingle these funds. They put their inheritance into a joint account. If you've done that, don't do it again. If you've done that, have a conversation with your soon-to-be ex about, hey, this was my inheritance. Let's make sure that I can get my portion out. Community property is income earned by both of you. Real estate that was purchased during your marriage, joint bank accounts, retirement contributions, your debts accumulated together. I just read an article about Journey Smollett and how her ex is getting half of her retirement and she's been working since she's a toddler. And I couldn't help but think, I don't think that this is an accurate article. I don't know. I haven't seen the details of their divorce agreement, but I don't think that the writer of that article knew or knows divorce law. It's clear that this spouse was getting half of her retirement, but they're only entitled to the half of their retirement that was earned during their marriage, not the whole retirement. These things are important. This is part of the reason why if you have a complex financial pie, you need to have a really good financial person and not just your everyday accountant, a certified financial divorce analyst, because they know how divorce works and they can really help you divide those assets. Because one of the things you have to think about is tax consequences. So let's determine a fair split of assets. 50-50 isn't always straightforward. It may look straightforward on paper, but then when you look at the tax consequences post-divorce, it's not equal. Someone is taking a much bigger tax hit. And to equalize that bigger tax hit, they may actually get more assets because they're taking a bigger tax risk. This equalizes things, so it's not cut and dry. You can't think of it that way. This is not a game of marbles where you're just like, you get one, I get one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. You can't do it that way. It does not work. The other thing to consider is that liquid assets are different from illiquid assets. The house is a great asset, but if it's not income producing, you can't easily use that. It is not the same as having cash on hand. But when they go to sell it, yes, when they go to sell it, if they are still single, they do not get the tax credit, the tax benefit as if they were married. So they are going to probably run into capital gains hits that they wouldn't be if they were married. These are not capital gains tax hits that you're going to take. You're not going to be taxed on your equalizing payment in a divorce. But they are the moment they sell that house if they've made more than $250,000 in profit. It does matter. And that is not a hypothetical. It does matter. You have to consider that. You could think about, okay, let's just sell and divide everything now. Some couples certainly do that. Sometimes people trade things. They might keep the house and someone keeps a larger share of their retirement. Sometimes people, because of the children or because of the way the property was purchased or really because of the market, they may choose to co-own the property for some time. That's completely fine. Word of caution is to have a very clear agreement of what is going to trigger a sale. Am I going to have to co-own this with you for the rest of my life? How is this going to impact my credit? Will this prevent me from buying another piece of property? What happens when the kids are grown? How can I get this? If I need this to be sold and we're not agreeing, how can we make sure this is sold? You have to really project into the future. So if you decide to co-own a piece of property, to continue to co-own a piece of property together as divorced people, you need to have clear agreements on when that situation will come to an end. One of the things I tell couples is to break as many financial ties, as many ties to this other parent as possible. This other person as possible. If you are a parent with them, you're going to forever be connected, but financially you don't need to be connected. I once did a divorce for a couple that hadn't been married very long, and they shared a car, and they were arguing about the car. And I said to them, you have no kids, you haven't been married long, you're not sharing debts, you have no other assets, there's no spousal support that's exchanging hands, and you're going to be financially connected to this person who has had an affair and has moved on because of a car. They figured it out. That's not healthy for anyone to be connected like that. My general word of caution is consider limiting and ending financial ties to this person that you are divorcing. It will really help your mental peace, your state of mind. The other thing I need you to consider is mediation versus court. What is the best scenario for asset division? Judges are former attorneys. Attorneys don't know everything. You can't expect your attorney to be your therapist, even though they call him a counselor. You can't expect them to know all the financial details and tax complications. So why all of a sudden would this person who's an attorney and can't do everything now become a judge and they suddenly have this knowledge? They know everything. They don't. It is far better for you to work with a financial professional and work with a mediator so that you can make an agreement that works for your family. This is when you should go to a judge, when there's been a bad actor, where someone is not doing what they are supposed to do. They are lying, they are defrauding, they're hiding things. But do not think just because you've gone to court and there is an order of contempt or they're supposed to disclose information that they're actually going to do it. It's going to take a lot for them to get to do it. To get them to do it. So be prepared for that. But really, if there are hidden assets, this is where you want to go in front of a judge. Just know it's going to take longer, but hopefully the truth will come out in the end and you will get your proper share of whatever you were entitled to in that. But for other situations, you shouldn't have to go to court. A judge shouldn't decide things about your financial future when they don't know what the heck is going on. You got like 15 minutes to stand before them and state your case, and they're supposed to make an agreement. They might think about it for a couple of weeks and come back, but they don't have all the information. Do your best to stay out of court. Final thoughts. This is a financial pie. It is not infinite. There are a limited number of resources. Take your time and really consider who can we work with, who can help us. Look at our assets and debts and the best way to divide them, really thinking about the future tax consequences, thinking about liquid assets versus assets that are not liquid, and how we can divide this in a way that sets both of us up for future success. It is possible. It does not have to be impossible. If your spouse is a liar and a cheat and they're committing fraud, you may have to go to court. However, there are some people who are like, I already know this and I don't care. And I don't like how they got their money, and I don't want any of it anyway. I just need to be done. That's a different story. All right. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you think this video could be helpful to someone else, please be a good friend and share it. Have a great weekend.